A heavyweight fight happened last night, and the Rockets came out on top. Do we have a big three on our hands? Let's talk about it. What is going on, everyone? And we are back. This is the Summit State of Mind podcast, brought to you by J-Bar M Barbecue. Make sure to go visit J-Bar M Barbecue, minutes from Toyota Center. Hit them up Saturday and Sunday for their beautiful brunch menu. Get some bottomless mimosas. Take care of yourself. Have some fun. It's me. It's Main Event JP. I am here with my boy, JG, the other JG, Josh Garcia.
Jalen Garcia.
There you
After
go,
last night,
baby.
wow, that was riveting. I've never in my life seen such a good Jalen Green game in person, and I there's so many agendas I want to push, but I just feel happy. I feel blessed. I feel ready for the Jalen Green takeover because we're getting March Jalen Green in January and going into the end of last year. This is really good. I'm so happy. I cannot be any more appreciative. There's some, like I said, there's some agendas that I'm going to push later on, but that have nothing to do with Jalen Green, of course. I would just like to send my sincerest apologies to Jalen Green and his family because I have not been very nice to you over the years, and I feel like now that our team is doing much better, and I'm in a much better, I'd say, mental state because of this team.
Mentally healthy. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, I would just, I'd like to send my dearest apologies because. For right now, in this juncture, what is it, January 14th, 15th?
Today is January the 14th.
Sure.
Yes.
January 14th, 2025. I was wrong about Jalen Green, and I would just like to have that on record.
Wow. I'm not going to lie. That takes a lot of humility. That is very anti-Rockets Twitter to basically understand and accept that, to humble yourself and say that you're potentially wrong. And I mean, I'm not saying that you aren't. I mean, Jalen could put up stinkers because, that's just all a part of who he is. I've come to accept that. And now this is coming from a guy that is a big supporter of Jalen Green. By the way, vote Jalen Green to the All-Star
Please.
game.
Your votes count 3 times some days?
I know some days. I know some Fridays. I don't remember
Triple
which
the
ones,
democracy. This
but
is
they
great.
definitely post that. Obviously, we've done our part in taking part in voting Jalen Green at the All-Star game, right?
Yep. They need to do I voted stickers at the Rockets game.
Dude, I would love that.
You show your phone? Boom.
Yes, that would be beautiful. I would love, like the faces of the players that you voted in.
Oh, man.
But you just get one of all the starting 5 because we're all like little bit of homers. We want to send Dylan Brooks to the All-Star game.
I would have gotten the Grail the last year, the Boban Marjanovic I
man.
voted sticker.
That would have been goated.
This year it'll be the Jayshawn Tate I voted sticker. That'll be the Grail in 34 years.
If there's anyone that's come back and decided to play really well and be a part of the rotation, surprisingly, Jayshawn Tate.
Yep. Shout out
to you, man.
Yep.
Yeah.
You gotta love it. You gotta appreciate it too, because there's we've trimmed so much fat off of this team over the past 2 and 3 years. We've had who was it, Daquan Jeffries in our starting lineups. We've had KJ Martin, RIP salute. Wherever you are now, is Philly still?
No, I don't know.
LA,
Maybe.
I don't remember.
I think it's Philly.
But those lineups were really bad, and just the seeing real lineups, real team power, team chemistry, everything. It just feels so. I feel so vindicated because for years, literally 4+ years now, I felt disgusted with what I've seen on the court, and it's all coming together. It all feels right. It like Stone always says, it feels like 96, but it feels like 95 or 94 maybe.
I like that.
It's beautiful.
I mean, you speak of vindication. Last night's victory, you couldn't feel more vindicated as a fan considering how the Rockets played and came out on top. The Rockets won, 120, 118? Was that the final score?
Yep.
Okay. And the Rockets were down most of the game. It was such an impressive showing from both sides. It seemed like the Grizzlies had the Rockets' number for the first 3 quarters. John Morant was on a heater. Nothing could be done in terms of the offense from the third quarter. The third quarter was just really bad. I don't even want to talk about it. We were both in the stadium.
Yep.
And I was fucking disgusted with how that team played to come out of the half. And that fourth quarter, this team decided that, hey, we can still beat this team. They've already beat them twice throughout the year. So now we're 3 for 3 against the Grizzlies. And I'm sure the Grizzlies are livid the way that they have played. But, Josh, considering last night's victory, what are your thoughts on the game? Any players that stood out to you in terms of performance? Obviously, we'll talk about Jalen Green, but let's talk about some of the other guys first.
The immediate agenda that I said that I've been stressing that I'm going to push is Cam Whitmore, even with let's say Tari Eason or Jabari Smith Jr. being out. Of course,
Yes.
I still view, and I've had this idea, and I know Rockets fans have too, because Cam Whitmore's been upset. He hasn't been getting enough playing time, which understandable. The team is deep. Even we saw at the beginning of the year, Jayshawn Tate, for example, was not getting any minutes. Jeff Green was not getting any minutes.
Exactly.
Jock Landale was not getting any minutes. But seeing Cam Whitmore come into that role last night and just make it felt like every single three, he has a serious case to be our sixth man in the future.
It added weight.
And I don't see enough people talking about it. I know that Jalen Green had an incredible game last night. Amen Thompson was just all around the court. Again, seriously, the most almost the most athletic player in the NBA right now. I even told my friend that I was with. I said, dude, this guy is someone I've never seen before. It's not
Absolutely.
People even compared him to Ben Simmons, and obviously they're totally different players. But of course they have the same, I guess, shtick, which is just kind of be an all-around defensive-minded, athletic player. But he's almost a unicorn, I'd say. And again, not nobody's really calling him that, but. This is really important to me, damn it. I love what I'm seeing.
Yes.
I have not had this amount of encouragement and enthusiasm for this Rockets team in so long, and I've made it through the rebuild. You've made it through the rebuild. I probably watched almost every single game of those two awful Steven Silas seasons, and
God, poor us, poor fans.
Ime Udoka's game management isn't the greatest at times, but seeing it's almost like a mind over matter thing last night, because we were down 15. I think it was directly in the fourth quarter.
Yes.
And coming out of that somehow, and even Fred turned the ball over. There was a couple big turnovers on our end that I thought would just seal the game for the Grizzlies. But of course, great defensive plays, great stops. It all came together at the end, and you just don't see many teams like that anymore. And I feel like we're getting to not the upper echelon of the NBA teams that are around, because obviously, the Thunder and the Cavs are just different, built different.
They're built
the
different
Celtics,
right now.
sure.
Yep.
But we're in the echelon, and it feels good to just even be in that conversation.
With every team. I mean, based on, I believe Adam Wexler, I might be wrong if Adam Wexler posted it, but our record amongst teams that are in the playoffs, we're 11-3. And 2 of those losses have come against Oklahoma City.
Right.
But I want to dial it back. You did mention Cam Whitmore. And as a person that hasn't been a complete believer in Cam Whitmore, I like the way he plays, but, we can't also overstate the fact that he can be a black hole when he's feeling selfish. The man doesn't like to pass. And his defense is not where we'd like it to be. But I will say this. Outside of maybe a couple games when he has played, he's really improved in terms of his decision-making, his effort, and he's starting to show that he's not having a one-track mind. Granted, he is putting up the shots, but he's also hitting them. But he's also very aware and understanding of, now probably wouldn't be a great time to shoot, where last year he would have just put the ball up. He would have been like another Gerald Green.
Wow.
And we all love Gerald
Green legend, Houston
ultimate
legend.
green light, but Cam Whitmore just isn't there yet.
Right.
But the processing that we're seeing in terms of just overall gameplay is starting to develop, and we're seeing him thrive in his role. I'm very impressed with a lot of the things that he has done. I mean, we saw his negative body language. Where was that when we blew out? Was it Washington? When we were in Washington? I don't remember what game that was. I think it was where we were there, and everybody was harping on that. I was as well. People read body language. That's just how we are. We are all fans of our team, and we speculate. But he overcame that, and he performed really well last night. It was,
and he got great minutes too.
Oh, absolutely.
Great minutes. It's not like he was playing when at the end of the second quarter when everybody was tired. No, he was playing in crunch time minutes. This was real Cam Whitmore basketball, and I've never seen in my life Cam Whitmore just not only again have that green. He has had that green light in much worse situations, of course. But he was just. It felt like he was making everything. And
there you go.
Of course, we are overreactors. We are going to nitpick every single thing in the best way. In the best way, we're going to nitpick.
Yes.
And Cam Whitmore just it feels right. It feels like 95, baby.
Yeah.
You gotta love it,
dude. I do. I mean, I love that we both have said the words green light. We can't mention the word green light without mentioning Jaylen fucking Green. Last night, my man played like there was no tomorrow. He refused to let this team lose. And potentially, I'd like to say it might have been the greatest game he's ever played as
Tied his
a
career high.
Rocket.
Yep.
I mean, we've seen his games that won against Oklahoma City last year where he willed us to victory without LP. But last night, he played 40 minutes. Let me read you the stat line. He scored 42 points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists, 1 steal. He shot 13 of 18 from the field, 72%.
Incredible.
That's like almost an anti-Jalen Green type of game. People understand that he's not the most efficient guy, but last night was basically peak of what we'd want to see, like magnified times a million, right? 5 of 6 from 3, 11 of 11 from the free throw line. He did mention post-game that him being able to get to the free throw line helps a lot in terms of his rhythm, and we saw it last night. He started very aggressive, getting to the bucket, and when he does get to the bucket, he's hitting layups that eventually opens up the mid-range and the three-point line for the guy. And that's kind of exactly how the game played out in his favor. Josh, I know that you even said in the beginning you weren't the biggest Jalen guy, but I want you to tell me, in terms of his play style and his play, the way he has played since Thanksgiving, what are you most impressed by with Jalen Green's play so far?
You brought up the driving and the free being in rhythm, especially at or after the free throw line, is so important to literally your flow state of the game of basketball.
He's a rhythm player. He's stated it many times.
And
we see it.
And that's very common, especially nowadays. Like there are so many guys who need their. It's almost like how Zane Gonzalez, the kicker for the Commanders, he has these like, little ticks, or like he does these little things. Like
my man was like combing his hair when he has no hair, and I was just like, that was probably the most impressive thing I've ever seen.
Yep,
Someone
that's his thing.
Do that. It like the ticks are unbelievable. But anyways, sorry,
Yep.
go right on.
Jalen Green being in that mode is so different because this has been an underlying issue with a lot of Jalen Green's, bad games, of course, is he's not driving enough. He's not like, and when he does drive, it's like, oh, great, he either gets fouled or he just shoots a terrible layup. And I'm just saying this was Jalen Green in the past. We're looking towards the future.
We can't not state the fact that he did not play very well in certain times of the year last year and to start the year this year. I mean, we get it. After the 5-game heater, he wouldn't play well. So.
And of course, again, we're going to overreact. It's a 7-game stretch where he's playing like a complete all-star, arguably a top 5 player in the NBA in these past 7 games. Let's be clear. But it's so important to understand the rhythm and how guys get to the hole. And seeing Jalen Green confident enough to not only attempt to dunk on everybody. You know how people used to call Ja almost Morant. It felt like Jalen almost Green because he was almost dunking on half of the Grizzlies roster last night.
Yeah.
And just seeing even the confidence to get up and be able to do that, you're seeing essentially an entirely different player. Like this is the Jalen Green that we know is in there, and we have always known, no matter how bad of stretches that he's had, we know that is in him, and I'm so happy because I'm not going to root for especially one of my own players' downfall. No, like it's seeing Jalen Green in this mode is so just different, and I'm so happy that we all get to witness it. This is great.
I mean, it makes you feel like you're watching an elite shooting guard being born. I mean, we've all seen the flashes of his scoring, but to see the way that he's processing the game now, the way that he's understanding when to shoot, when to drive, when to pass, and when Ime Udoka was hired, he was the one that had the most challenge because he had to completely rewire his brain, rewire his game, and we are really seeing the benefits of an Ime Udoka as his head coach. I mean, we've all complained about Ime's offense, but Jalen Green has done his part of turning, shit into chicken salad, right?
Yep.
And I do have
Never heard that metaphor before, but okay.
I mean, I've heard it, but I mean, maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm just a fool. Don't mind me. But I'm going to read some stats. Shout out to Jeff Schul on Twitter. He brought up Jalen and Amen Thompson when they both start games together, okay? And these are 33 games sample size, 23.15 points per game, a 58.1% true shooting, 45.6% from the field, 38% from 3, and 80.7% from the line.
That's elite.
5.5 rebounds, almost 4 steals a game, plus 117.
Wow.
Okay? That's an all-star in my opinion. And even Ben DeBose posted an 81-game sample size of March to now, and he's averaging about 23 points a game. Like, almost similar to what we're seeing, what I just read. So I think that the lows are really low, but I think the lows were overblown because of the inconsistency.
Look at us. We're just pushing back on Jalen Green. Past 4-year agendas.
I know.
I love this. Thank you. Please keep
I
going.
was always the Jalen guy, but I was also the guy that was kind of like trying to keep my feet on the ground and not let myself get too high. Because, I mean, we can't overstate how important Sengun is as well. But he's already reached that part. Now we're starting to see a part of the little dents in the armor and seeing him adjust, because that's what we're starting to see now, where he's starting to struggle. But even though he is struggling, Jaylen Green is there to pick him up. That's what friends are for, bro. You know, the Beatles said they always get a little help from their friends, right?
There you go. Yep.
So that's what Jaylen Green is there for. And I feel like, man, I'm just so impressed. His game last night was just unbelievable. I don't think we can overstate enough just the type of player that we do see and we're hoping to see a fully realized one. You know, like I don't know if you watched Dragon Ball Z. I totally did. You know, the final form of Frieza, the scariest person in the world. That's what the kind of Jaylen Green I want to be. I want Jaylen Green to be like so good he becomes a villain. When you become a villain,
that's ideal, yeah.
You know, he can be our Batman. You know, just the hero that we don't need, but the hero we deserve. Give me Jalen Green as Batman. Like, I'm all about that world. But, Josh, before we move forward and talk about our new starter, who's been in place for Jabari Smith Jr., let me give a quick shout-out again to our sponsor, J-Bar Barbecue. I just want to give a quick shout-out to everyone that did show up last Saturday. The Houston Rockets game was canceled, but the Houston Texans were there to shine on Wild Card Weekend, and we had such a great time at J-Bar Barbecue. Make sure to go visit them. Minutes from Toyota Center, about 9 to 10 minute walk from Toyota Center. So if you guys want to go grab some barbecue, have some $2 wells, $5 margaritas. They even have a street taco special and a margarita for $10 over at J-Bar Barbecue. Go there for happy hour before you go to the game, or if there's an afternoon game, then go there post-game, right?
There you go.
Have some fun. Visit J-Bar Barbecue and make sure to tell them that Apollo sent you. All right, Josh, Amen Thompson, man. Like, I can't even overstate it. Like, Amen Thompson has been a blessing, not just for Jalen Green, but for this whole team. Defensively, he has played almost, I wouldn't even say almost. I would say at a defensive player of the year type of level.
Yes.
Elite perimeter defense. My man, I feel like every time he jumps up to block someone, I feel like he's actually going to get it. And that's like watching Yordan Alvarez get to the plate and be like, he's going to get a home run every time. That's what it seems like watching Amen Thompson. Josh, with all that being said, I got to know, how are you feeling about Amen Thompson? And I know that you have your agendas, everything. Like, just, you know, let's lay it all out there, brother. You know, like,
I don't know where to start.
I love Amen Thompson, and we both do. Everyone loves the way he plays. Like you stated, his athleticism. I compare him to a Scottie Pippen.
Yep.
He's got very much Scottie Pippen-like characteristics, but he's also explosive like a Russell Westbrook at 6'8". Like, it's mind-blowing how good he is.
Unicorn comes to mind, like I said. And seeing a player who can pass like Rajon Rondo, like the last night.
Rajon Rondo, what a name. Literally,
I
love that.
literally pass like exactly like him. And I think he kicked out to, I think it was the left corner. But he was driving into the paint and he ends up kicking his legs out. And it just looks like he's essentially just doing like a jelly fam type layup, but he passes out of it. This is elite level passing, elite level defense.
Yeah.
Almost, I don't want to say elite level scoring just yet. Of course, the shooting has gotten a lot better even in the past 35 games since the season started. So you're seeing this guy not only get better, but get better much quicker and much faster than a lot of his other peers. Like there are still guys who are high who got drafted in that class last year who were either in the G League for a lot of last season or some of last season and still trying to figure out their way now. Like we are in a great position to have this man on our team. And not only to have him on our team, but he's playing 30, 35, 40 minutes a game. Mm-hmm. Like in these games, like you're seeing the entire tide shift, entire wavelengths be created due to Amen Thompson's defensive prowess and due to his offensive, like just athleticism. Like it's not even just like, oh, this guy's sneaky athletic. Like, no,
he's not sneaky. He's just going to fucking fuck you up.
If I had a 120-year-old grandmother, she could see how good Amen Thompson is. If she was blind, she could see. If she was deaf, she could hear. Like Amen Thompson knows no bounds. He is one of the most interesting, more than anything else, interesting players that I've had the pleasure of watching for 41 or 82 games. Dude. Like, you know, whether it be at Toyota Center or at home, like this guy is awesome. And I'm just so fortunate. I think that's what it all boils down to is every team needs an Amen Thompson. And I could maybe say that there's 2 or 3 other guys in the league who are similar to him, not even on his level. Like, this is amazing.
It's just the perfect combination of like hard work ethic, athleticism, smarts, intuition. Like he's got it all in terms of the defensive end. His shot obviously is something more to be desired, but we've all seen players that have came into the league with the weak shots and eventually practiced enough to the point where they became, I wouldn't say elite, but shooters that can compete and you have to guard them as opposed to like, you know, leaving Rajon Rondo open for 3 all those years, right? Amen Thompson, like you can even argue that he could potentially be the best player on this team in 2 to 3 years, and I think that he's definitely up there already. His impact on the defensive end, you just can't overstate it. Like he's guarding the best player on the court. He was guarding up Ja Morant most of the game last night.
Held him to 30% from the field,
3
for 10.
And I mean, Ja started out hot.
He did.
He hit like a couple threes to really set the tempo for his team, and then he kind of stayed a little silent. He wasn't getting to the bucket. It just seemed like his effect just wasn't there shooting-wise. He was still Ja Morant, but he had to affect the game in other ways just because of how good Amen Thompson has been. And you saw that play last night in the fourth quarter where Jalen Green had the ball up top with Fred VanVleet. He gets it to Steven Adams, and then Steven Adams immediately finds Amen Thompson cutting to the bucket. And those are the kind of off-ball plays that Amen Thompson brings that no one else on this roster
Constant
have.
IQ. It's
exactly.
So important.
And it's like he always puts himself in positions to score, whether it's an alley-oop dunk, a layup, a jumper, or even a screen. He is considerably the smartest player on this team, and we just can't overstate it. I mean, look at his averages. He's averaging 17 points and 11 rebounds and 3 assists in the games he started this year with Jabari gone. And 17 and 11 is elite. And I mean, outside of Wemby, he is 100% the best player in that draft. And it's not even close to anyone else. We're seeing a player that could potentially win 2 to 3 Defensive Player of the Years, an immense amount of first, second team all defense, and a multiple-time All-Star.
I love how ahead of ourselves we're getting. But this is important to think about. Like, this guy is so different. And again, I'm so happy that I get to see this guy in Toyota Center. I paid $7 for my tickets last night.
The greatest investment you can make,
Literally. The Jaylen Green 4-point play, our section was going crazy. I swear, every time I go to a Rockets game, whether I sit in the lower bowl or the upper seats always are.
Oh, it's live.
It is live.
Those are a lot
there.
of the hardcore fans are, and they
exactly.
cheer loud. And I mean, we all understand how Toyota Center is. Like a lot of the hoity-toity people might sit lowers, but the hardcore fans are the uppers. And I mean, I get that.
Yep. The drunker fans are uppers in the upper sections too. So it's just louder up there. It feels like a real sporting event up there, and we get to watch a real Rockets team now there, and I'm fine with that. I'll happily sit in the worst seat in the stadium for 41 games a season if it means that I get to watch this level of Rockets basketball, even a quarter of this level of Rockets basketball consistently.
Like we're 37 games this season. We're almost halfway there, and we're 25-12. Like
never in my life would I thought.
Me neither. I mean, I predicted 51 wins.
Maybe 20 wins by now. Like,
yes.
At best, maybe.
Yeah, and that's kind of like being very friendly considering the expectations to start the year. Vegas had us at 42.5 wins before the season started. We're going to blow that shit out the water.
Oh, of course.
And
50 by mid-April.
Oh, dude, I hope so, man.
Early April. Why not?
Yeah, I really hope so. Like, I just hope that this team continues to move forward and strive in
Definitely.
terms of greatness. There's a lot of cohesion. A lot of players have really bought into their roles. We've seen Fred VanVleet step back and understand, like, him playing off the ball is better for the overall team. Dylan Brooks has not been putting up dumb shots. Well, he has a little bit. I get it. That's
A couple heat checks last night.
Dude,
I was like, oh.
that comes with the Dylan Brooks experience,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
Welcome to life. Yeah.
There you go. But that's all a part of it, you know? And for me and Josh, as Rockets fans, like, we couldn't be happier considering the type of play that we have seen. We were on a 4-game winning streak, and we will actually be playing the Denver Nuggets tomorrow. So,
can't wait.
Josh, let's do it. This is our favorite segment, the Texas Trinity 3 keys to the game. So, Josh, I want you to give me your 3 keys for what the Rockets need to do in order to defeat the Denver Nuggets tomorrow.
Shocker. Definitely contain Nikola Jokic. Who would have thought?
Yeah.
Who would have thought? Number one.
Right.
What I've noticed here, we'll say number two. What I've noticed with the Denver Nuggets is, of course, they live and die by not just the three, but you know, if their paint presence is not there, they are not going to win the game. Stay on the rebounding battle.
Yep.
Last night we saw a lot of possessions where we've just missed defensive rebounds.
Yep.
The Memphis Grizzlies were getting boards all over us last night, and we still managed to win, thank goodness. But contain the boards. All you got to do is, I don't care if you got to throw Amen Thompson out there for 40 minutes.
Yeah.
He might get 20 boards when we play the Nuggets.
I agree.
Contain the boards. And I hate to say it, but make Michael Porter Jr. pass the ball. Because if he's passing the ball, he's panicked. And if the Nuggets are panicked, then that means the Rockets are in a great position. So that is my Texas Trinity 3 keys to the game.
There you
Trinity
go.
plate?
Yes.
Trinity plate.
Yes.
Keys of the game.
There you go.
Off the dome, baby.
There you go.
Yep,
You've heard it
almost.
plenty of times in Zero Gravity,
Of
I'm
course,
sure. Yeah.
of course.
Shout out to Stoney.
Salute.
What's it called? Actually, you know what? Before we get to me, give me a final score for tomorrow. Just out the blue.
114 to 107. Rockets take the.
Ooh,
take
I
the
love
win.
that. I love that. All right.
Little grit and grind game.
There you go.
Yeah.
I like that. What I'm going to say is this. So these are my 3 keys. 1, take advantage. Denver Nuggets are playing a back-to-back. They're playing the Mavericks tonight. Granted, it's a Mavericks team that's a little depleted, but just because they're depleted does not mean they're not going to play hard either.
Right.
They have a lot of good players there in older Klay Thompson. They got Quentin
Not
Grimes.
Tim Hardaway Jr.
Yeah, thank God. You know, they got Jaden Hardy. They still got Derek Lively over there. PJ Washington's playing well. So, I mean, you know, they got all those guys.
Right.
As long as the Rockets come in tomorrow and understand, like, this isn't going to be a gimme. Obviously, it's the Denver Nuggets. They won a championship 2 years ago. Or is it 3? I don't remember how many years.
2021.
Was it 2021?
Technically 4.
Maybe
Well, no,
really?
2022.
Was it 22?
Bucks 21, Nuggets 22.
Yeah,
that sounds right. There you go.
There you go. Because Warriors 23.
We know
and
ball,
then,
come on.
And then Celtics 24. There you go.
Boom.
We got that right.
Wikipedia
There you
on
go.
site in mind.
But Rockets, go in there with energy because these guys will be playing with heavy legs. Granted, they will be in Denver, but we have that.
So we'll have heavy lungs.
We have
actually.
the youthful bliss to understand that we could get away with it as long as we stay controlled and understand our capabilities. But like you said, I want to go on number 2, the same thing that you said, rebounding. Jokic is a dominant rebounder, but we also have rebounders in Sengun. We got Amen Thompson. Our guards like to rebound. We got Steven Adams. So we have plenty of reinforcements in terms of boxing out. You just got to make sure to stay in position. And number 3, let's get Sengun back on the block. I know that he clutched it out last night, but he's definitely been on the struggle bus a little bit. I think what needs to happen is we need to have a good Sengun bounce-back game just to kind of alleviate the pressure off of a Jaylen Green. We can't anticipate 42 points from him every night. We definitely can get – we're starting to get 25 a night. We can get 25 out of Jaylen, 25 out of Sengun. I think I like our chances.
Right.
You know? So I think that more efficient Sengun games, especially on the offensive end, defensive end as well. We need him a little bit more on the effort there with Jokic. But I think that if Sengun does play better, the team will play better overall.
Definitely.
So My final score, I will say 116-114 Rockets.
Ooh,
Very close
another
game.
fun one.
We've been winning a lot of clutch games. I mean, knock on wood. Yeah, thank you, Ime. But, I truly believe that this team can keep winning. We're not scared of any team. I mean, we beat the best team in the league.
Whoa, hold on.
Outside of Cleveland.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
We've beaten Oklahoma City. We got decimated by Cleveland in Cleveland. Have they come to Houston yet or no?
I don't think so.
Good, because then maybe they'll put us on national TV.
Oh, buddy.
Right?
The Grizzlies game in Memphis, it'll be the fourth one of the year, got flexed to 8:30 on TNT, I think January 30th. I want to say. Can't wait.
I love TNT games.
Yeah. Can't wait for NBA on NBC. It's going to be life-changing. I'll be able to stream it on the COCK. Can I say cock on here? We'll stream it on the cock.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, we'll stream it on the cock,
man.
baby. Can't wait.
A lot of our, like, we have Peacock. We watch wrestling, so of course we got Peacock. So
it's all on Netflix now, right?
Well, Raw is on Netflix. PLEs are on Peacock for the time being. I don't know when that contract ends. Don't ask me those questions.
PLEs?
Yeah, so pay-per-views are now called PLEs, premium live events.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, I know. It took me a while to get used to it. I'm not going to lie to you, but I got annoyed too. Trust me, I rolled my eyes just like you.
I hate change. Stop it.
I know, man. Dude, I'm in my 30s. Change is the worst. I hate it. Just give me full bills, all right? No change, guys. But
Domer.
Shut up. But let's get ready to go home here. Josh, thank you again for coming. It's always a pleasure to have you on. Dude, let these people know where they can find you on socials.
You can find me on Instagram at Where's My Foul. You can find me on Twitter at Josh Garcia64. You can also find me on, I think it's a Zing. How do you say it? The new TikTok app. Zing Zong Shu. Learning Mandarin.
Like a player from the CBA.
Been learning Mandarin the past week. You can almost find me on there. I'll probably download it tomorrow. So you'll be seeing me. It's been pretty good recently. I've been having a good time watching not only the Rockets but changes all around you. Enjoy it.
Pass connoisseur. Wow, changes all around you.
Changes all around you. Enjoy it. I'm watching air mattress races at United Center on League Pass on a Sunday afternoon. I'm watching
real sicko shit.
Keon Ellis take 3-pointers. Lonzo Ball take 3-pointers. This is the life I've wanted to live forever. This is the life I've chosen to live, and I am so glad that I get to live, breathe every day, not only in the air around basketball, but in the air of this beautiful studio. Thank you for having me, and I fucking love you, man. I greatly appreciate you. God, man, I die for this shit, straight up.
Look at this passion. This is the kind of passion I need all the time in my life, okay?
There it is.
Like, this is real love right here. This is real. But anyways, make sure to follow me on socials at JP_Mirabueno. Make sure to follow the podcast on Twitter at Summit, SOMPOD. Make sure to follow us on Instagram at Summit State of Mind _POD. And make sure to follow our people, our group, our brothers at Apollo HOU. This Saturday, we got a Texans watch party over at Big City Wings in Marquee. Make sure to check them out. Support Apollo Texans. The game starts at 3:30. Maybe I'll be there. Maybe Josh will be there. We'll see what's going down. But everyone, make sure to come out and enjoy yourselves. Have some fun. Man. Oh, actually, one more thing. Two more things, actually. Make sure to check out Zero Gravity Podcast, which Josh is on. He's a mainstay. Him and Stoney. That's our NBA podcast where they talk all things hoops, everything NBA. They just did an episode on the Western Conference trading block, or kind of like who we think we should trade, and Josh just wants every team to sell.
Yes.
No one needs to buy. Everyone should just sell. And then I think y'all did a Rockets one, right?
Yep.
Specifically? Okay.
Yep.
I saw that, but I didn't get a chance to listen to it. I will soon, though. And then make sure to check us out, the Wrestle Era podcast. I know we've been gone for a minute, but we will be having episodes releasing very, very soon. We have some guests lined up, so make sure to check that out. And the Royal Rumble. There's a watch party at Pitch 25.
Just dropped, baby.
There you go. We just dropped the flyer today. Plenty of things. You got a costume contest, best sign contest. I'm not sure what time everyone will be there. I would probably say the event will start at 3. and the PLE will start at 5. So make sure to show up, show out, watch wrestling with us, and have some fun.
That's right.
All right. Well, thank you guys for listening to us. If you listen to us rant for this long, you guys deserve a cookie, to be honest.
Salute.
There you go. But, Josh, I don't know if you know the word, but I'll say the word. I'll lead you in. This is the word we always say. Yeet. So
Sure.
when on 3, 1, 2, 3.
Amen Thompson. Oh, my bad. Yeet. Sorry.
Yeet. We'll see you guys soon.
I'm so excited. I don't know what to do with myself.